bit of carnage back at the start of the grid, so we don't want to miss it. Once again, just the start of the race not working out for us as well as we would like, but if you did miss but looks like we're back in with 57 minutes to go. Murdoch leads the way. He's got back in front of JJ Penguin, who temporarily led, but he has got Senna on his tail then. Hopefully we can get a bit of action going on. Pantylo's looking in the background to have a look at these two then. It's a three-way fight as Murdoch is on a charge, trying to lead the way. We've got one view already. Welcome to stream, guys. Sorry, once again, I messed up the start. El Jefe with a drive-through further back, potentially for either track limits or an infringement at the start, which caused him to acquire that penalty. Further back, there is a bending rather wide. So this one rather wide. Very similar to ours, but he's in the slipstream. We'll jump back up to the front fight. There's a 4-car train, and it's about to be 6 once these guys start battling. And but JJ Penguin trying to stretch his leg. Panty really deep on the brakes, then almost hit into the back of the centre of Senna SK, but keeping it under control and closing the gap as much as he can now. Lay Anthony is in the back in his Lamborghini, who showed a very good showing at Spa a couple of weeks ago, but is currently languishing in 5th position. Still not a bad position. Panty looking to get past. Looks for an audacious dive to the inside. Senna gives him a little bit of room just to avoid a bit of contact, but you can see they are really close together. All this battling and on is just letting Murdoch, who has shown incredible pace in quali, just pull away a little bit more. But Senna is on the back of Penguin and really looking to make that pace up. He's still got 55 minutes of this race left to go though, so he does not want to send any cinemoves. Does not want to send any cinemoves whatsoever. And ruin both the races with 5 minutes in. He can definitely just wait. He knows he's got the pace. These guys are very close. You can see this train is stretching back all the way to the number 22 car. It is pretty much a 9-car train all the way back. Heavy with a stop go, 30 seconds. 30 seconds stop and go. But he's so much closer on this occasion, coming out the final corner. He looks to the inside. He's got the inside line. Penguin can't react. He's going to try and squeeze him as much as he can to the inside. He's going to have to give him the room, though, as ACC's contact model doesn't allow you to make any slight contact. Penguin to the outside. He's going to try and swoop around. It's not going to work. Senna's just going to force him out wide, and he bullies him off the racing line. Very nice racing from Senna there to concede and take that second place off JJ Penguin, who could be left vulnerable to the GTR. Oh, no, the Lamborghini. The GTR's gone. Where has the GTR gone? The GTR of Pantylo's, no, the GTR of Psycho. Oh no, the Bentley. It was a Bentley, and he's in the pit lane. He's retired. He must have picked up some damage or bottled it or whatever happened. I did not catch it, but JJ Penguin's still on the back of Senna and Anthony in his Lamborghini, which is also a pretty formidable car around this track, taking a very tight line and pulling up onto these guys. So still a 3-car train. None of them want to concede, and none of them want to give up these podium places. Anthony really making the most of these infield sections where the Lamborghini can thrive against its opponents. That Mercedes is a pretty good car itself as well. The Penguin getting a bit shaken up now after that overtake. He's lost his rhythm, and the Lamborghini can definitely take advantage of this. He's just got to be patient, wait for mistakes, and just don't be on the outside, as Penguin found out the hard way. Do not go on the outside. You're just going to get bullied out unless you have so much more grip. Anthony looks to the inside. It's not going to work to his favour. Penguin puts it off on the inside for this occasion. We're only 3 laps into this race, and Murdoch has a 7.5 second lead. He is dominating so far with 53 minutes to go, and Senna has got ahead of him. Penguin into the pit lane then. Already into the pit lane, so he might have picked up a slight bit of damage or whatever, but this has made Anthony's job a lot easier as he looks to chase after the Audi up in front of him. Then it's a 1.3 second gap. We've got Sir Psycho on the back of Unlock Jimmy, the pink Lamborghini versus the GTR. Very close battle once again, and at least we've got a bit of action in these early stages of the race. Unfortunately, we couldn't cover as well as we wanted to at the start, but it is all good. They're making up for it with this carnage and battling further back, and he's pushing him through turn 2. You can see, and just trying to make the most of any mistakes he does make. That Lamborghini is pretty nippy around this track. We'll see what the gap. It looks like he's staying stationary up in front. We'll see how it goes in the middle part of the track. We'll stay on board with Psycho though, as he looks to make up that place into P4. Very tight a line than Jimmy, but he gets a nice launch off the corner and manages to stay just in front enough to be able to go through the chicane unharmed. Not good for the time being then. Time being though is unlock Jimmy. He's trying to hold off a Psycho who is looking free quick 3 seconds second. What is the gap up in front? He's lost him by about a 10th, has Anthony, but still 50 minutes left to go. Where has JJ Penguin? Our P2 man who looked good to trying to make a claim for pole is down in 14th position. The pit window isn't even open yet, so he is going to have to make a second stop. Is the Bentley of Planting Lows out as well? He is. He's in P15. Ferrari, wherever they're in P8 as well. Got a flat track right behind it, but Psycho taking a really tight line, nearly sticking up the inside there, and he's had a really good run coming onto the straight. The GTR straight line speed is pretty formidable considering its size. Coming down the straight, sticking with the toe for as long as possible. Is he going to make a move? He looks to the inside very late, coming into the braking zone. He's going to go down the inside. Is Jimmy going to give him the room around the outside? Is he going to soar around the outside? Jimmy with the grip, it tightens up enough on the exit of the corner though, and Psycho makes a nice move. Jimmy tried his hardest to stay in front, but it just wasn't enough, and as Penguin proved, that outside from turn 1 just doesn't work, and Psycho claims that P4 position and is doing a great job as he tries to hunt down Al Antele, who is struggling to keep pace with Senna up in front. Further back though, flat track is on the back of the Ferrari of Everdy as well, in a very nice looking matte black BMW M4 competition, as he looked to get past the 488 Ferrari in a nice, lovely little rose red. Looking good as well. P8 and 9 for these guys respectively, so these two are looking to have a bit of a battle, as well as Badwell, who in his Porsche is pretty quick as well. Definitely not one to leave out of any conversations of quick drivers, but coming through the chicane then, flat track and the Ferrari keeping it pretty clean. Sector where the Ferrari is particularly strong. Murdoch up in front though with about a 10-second lead already. He was only 6 laps in, so that is just astonishing. That is about 1.4 seconds a lap. No, 1.6 seconds a lap on average. That's crazy. That is ridiculously fast. He is storming away in front, and it looks to try and claim victory. Still 50 minutes left to go in the race. We'll see how it pans out. Any other close gaps on track? Doesn't look like it is, unless it is for 17. This is the closest battle at the moment. Anthony has lost Senna, so he needs to make the most of any mistakes he does make. Of any mistakes he does make. Further back though, further in front, the guys in front, the McLaren in the James Baldwin Jensen Button rocket McLaren at 720s on the back of Frozone. 7 tenths is the gap. McLaren are looking pretty good to try and chase after the Mercedes then. Sim Racer to Real Racer, world's fastest game winner James Baldwin's car, looking pretty nice. Of course, Jensen's Button's own team, the car, and team he won the Formula 1 World Championship, of course, back in 2009. And the car in GT3 form is looking to take a surging pass on this front of the Mercedes. He looks to the inside, and he is trying to make the most of any mistakes he makes coming to this final sector. He needs to get the good run coming out of the corners to try and set up a nice overtake into turn 1, where we've seen most of the action so far. But runs a little bit wide, can't quite get the car turned in, perhaps in a little bit of turbulent air up in front, in the toe, just making the car push on just that little more. He needs to get a good run. McLaren has got a nice launch. He's got a pretty nice launch coming across the line then. What is the gap? It's about 5/10. Is it enough to make an audacious send up the inside of turn 1? Doesn't look like it's a bit close enough on this occasion. He's going to have to be really brave. He's going to stay behind on this occasion and try and set up some good exits to get in front soon. He needs to if he is the quicker driver, unless they just want to try and work together to catch Jimmy, who has been dropped by Psycho by quite a bit. He is looking fast, he's looking feisty, there's just nowhere to really overtake. There's nowhere for him to overtake, and he just he's keeping with him. Perhaps these two, if they are catching the car in front, we will see the gap from Frozen to Jimmy at the end of the sector, but if they are catching, perhaps it is just worth it. I don't think Orta is going to be wanting it to stay behind. He's pushing him practically bumper to bumper through the chicane, staying so super close to the car in front. Really is pushing him, making sure he can get the most. Nowhere to look on the outside. The inside is where he's looking, wanting to make this move. He's not close enough in it to this fast left. Definitely not the best move to make either. And coming through this fast right, we'll see the gap as they come across the line. Has it extended? It has. Trek, if he is quicker, needs to get in front so he can chase after the Lamborghini of Jimmy up in the front. Flat Track still 7/10 behind, and now a second behind his teammate. Throws over to the inside to defend. Or is going to be looking to go around the outside. It's not going to work though. He needs a better run than that if he wants to go around the outside. He looks to the inside perhaps for the final corner. It's not going to work. Frozen covers off the inside nicely, coming on to the 8th lap. Will be for these guys, and he's in a tow. He's a lot closer than he was on the previous lap. He is so close. Frozen to the middle of the track to try and deter him from making a move. He goes to the inside, white lines it. He brings him back to the outside when he sees Ortis isn't going to make a move. Back to the inside, aims it at the apex. Is Ortis going to make a nice cutback? He's got a good exit and a good run. Is it going to be enough to go for a move into T2 though? He's pushing him, coming out the corner. He looks to the inside early. Frozen to the inside. Is he? No, he's just not lapped. He's just not close enough on this particular occasion. Pane, who looked good to chase after the podium, now with the drive from third down as well. Perhaps the track limits are pretty harsh at this track. Get 3 warnings and then 1 more, and we've been slapped with a drive through for the track limits, but still on board with this battle. Then Sir Psycho has got the gap down to Anthony until that second, so definitely one to watch as he makes a charge for the podium. Places Murdoch up to that 13-second gap up in front, and Frozen holding on for dear life to this 6th place. Frozen has dropped the car in front quite a bit. Sir Psycho now in the back of Anthony for the fight for the final podium position, then in P3, a quarter of the way through the race. Still 44 minutes left to go. The pit window will be opening around the halfway mark of the race. Sir Psycho closing up, under braking to that Lamborghini and looking to make some more moves. Hopefully it's going to be a good battle. Anthony has got some good front. And we'll definitely be looking to hold on to that final podium place. Gap down to 5/10. He is definitely on a charge, looking rather consistent, not making any mistakes so far in this race. Is the GTR flat track though, who looked on course to overtake the Ferrari Liberty in the pit lane and needing to take his stop. I don't know if there was going to be a pit window open soon, but if there is, he's going to have to look another one to fulfill the final mandatory stop. 3.5 seconds up in front is the gap to Senna. Can Psycho make up that ground, or is he going to sniff the language behind for now? or will we see him later on in the race make a charge for that second, maybe even first, if Murdoch makes a mistake? But it doesn't look like he's going to be doing that. He's got 13, nearly 14-second lead so far, and only 10 laps in. That's about a 1.6 second per lap advantage over his competitors. So he is amazing right now. The consistency he is showing is astonishing. Penguin got a little glimpse of the lead on lap 1 as we saw, but it just wasn't enough, and he didn't manage to hang on to it from laps come Anthony a little bit wide out of that corner, and Psycho can definitely make a pounce if he analyses his opponent a little bit better. He just needs to analyse his opponent, be a bit patient, and go for the move when he sees a mistake happen. Capitalise on those mistakes and claim the position. Just don't want to make any rash movement, any rash judgments, and don't want to ruin both their races, as he still has 2/3 of the race to go. So much later on the guy in front of that GTI. He's dropped a little bit, so Psycho may have made a bit of a mistake. He needs to make the most of this final sector. There just is nowhere to overtake. Jimmy was well languishing in the background, can potentially make the most of any calamity that these two make. Force Liberty on the back of the Porsche there, as he looks to have made up a place and chase after the McLaren, potentially up in front. Still 40 minutes of the race to go though. We are only 20 minutes in, and Psycho is looking for this final podium place. They are losing the car in front. Can Psycho, if he does get in front, potentially go and catch the P2 man for the second place in this race, as they come on to lap 11? He's not going to be close on this occasion. He needs to make the most of any mistakes. He looks to the inside just to see his brake marker, but it's not really enough. He's got a good run out of that corner though. He's looking inside potentially into this corner. Not the best run though, so he is going to have to sit behind potentially if he was a little bit closer, but he's got a good run. He's all over the back of the car. You can see he is a lot visually closer than the car. He's definitely putting the pressure on. Just needs to scare him potentially into making a mistake. Put the pressure on him and send him a little bit wide. And just show his nose. Tell him that you are going to make the move when it comes. He's not going to have to languish behind him. He's not going to sit around and wait. He is going to send those moves and potentially put him off. As you saw, Anthony got a little bit wide, potentially making one of those little pressurised mistakes that Psycho has put on him. Looking up the inside, showing his nose, showing Anthony he needs to be looking in his mirrors, making sure Anthony is not looking at the road in front of him, but at Psycho behind him, and putting the pressure on to make sure he does stick behind him. But as we round off about halfway through lap 11, still 39 minutes in this race to go. He's looking to the inside. Is he going to be letting off the brakes? He can't. It's going to be a stupid move to make if he does try and pull that one off. Scotty Lag, the man we saw send himself into T1. He also Psycho looking to the inside, but on the corner you can just see the GTI has so much more confidence on the brakes. He really closes up onto the brakes and loses it on the corner exit, but you can see he has to really back off and really send it up the inside, unintentionally of course, so just make sure he doesn't hit the back end. Coming on to lap 12 then, he's got a 5/10 gap. Is he close enough? He's got the toe, he's got the slipstream. Can he potentially find a little bit to go for a move? He looks a lot closer on TV than he potentially does on track, but going into T1 then, he just needs another one of those really good runs coming out the corner. Anthony a little bit wide as well. Psycho can really make the most of these attacks and try and overtake him for that final P3 spot. Scotty Lag well further down. We'll have a look at him. He's chasing after Everdeen, who is trying to chase after Bad Bull once again. The gap of about 1.2 seconds, about 4 car train. Sar Bobby in the Mercedes AMG, who was looking pretty good a couple of races ago at Spa, but back on board with the fight for the podium. Then Psycho, after sitting behind for a few laps, does want to get past the Antonelli Lamborghini up in front and certainly try and make some moves. most of what he needs to do for the time being. He knows where he's quicker, he knows where he can potentially make a mistake. He's analysing his driver. He's been at the rear bump for that car for a few laps now. He knows what that car's doing. He's been analysing his driver. He's been looking at where he is slow. You can see he's now been pressurised into a little bit of a mistake. This could allow Psycho to have a look around the outside. It's not going to come to fruition though, but it's definitely going to give him a good run. Coming out the final corner, if he can just keep it tidy and keep it close, get the foot down as quick as he can, running a little bit wide, pushing that hard. He's definitely closer on this occasion. 4/10 is the gap. Is it close enough? Is it close enough? He looks to the inside, brakes quite late, can't quite do it. Anthony covers him off and takes the race in the line. Can Psycho get a nice little cutback exit as Anthony uses a lot more track on the outside, and it works for Psycho. He gets a good run. Is it going to be close enough to send it up the inside? He definitely doesn't want to be waiting around it any longer. He can't get the confidence on the brakes though. He takes a much tighter line and tries to get the inside over Antonelli, who is definitely holding on very well for that P3, not making many mistakes despite the pressure Psycho's putting on him, but he is so close to the rear bumper of that Lamborghini, and he is looking close, a lot closer as Antonelli runs a little bit wide, coming through that fast right-hander, pushing him through the caution curve right-hander, as I like to name it, coming into the turn 6-7 chicane. Again, pushing him through, trying to get the best exit and keeping him through this middle in field section. Further back, we've got a few cars within a second, which we'll see how that comes to fruition as well. Senna sort of in no man's land, and Murdoch definitely in no man's land as he looks to lap the first of the cars in his way. Everything back within a second of Bad Bull. He may have made a bit of a mistake, or Everty just found a bit of rhythm in this Ferrari. Should definitely be a quick car today. Definitely be a quick car today. Making the most out of it. A little bit dragging a little bit. Brilliant. But Psycho isn't in front of Antonelli just yet. He's in the middle of a Lamborghini sandwich and is looking to get past. He's lost him a little bit, so potentially a little bit of a mistake in pushing too hard. Has Psycho a bit dazed as he needs to find his rhythm once again, but I'm sure he can drive up to the back of Antonelli. He can definitely drive up to him, but his issue is just getting the grip and the speed to soar around the outside or send it up the inside. He just can't get close enough, can't get the run, and that is the issues I was speaking about earlier. This track, it is so difficult to overtake. It's so sweeping and flowing and stop-start that you really just can't get the run that you could potentially at Silverstone or Spa or Paul Ricard. Any of those tracks are more open, and more cutbacks, there's more heavy braking zones, there's just a lot more you can do to close the gap. There's a lot more space, there's a lot more runoff, you can take more risks that you just can't take here at the Hungaroring. It's just so difficult to overtake. Even if you are a second or that faster, you just can't get past. The car in front just holds his nerve, holds his line, and you just can't find your way through. Still approaching the halfway mark in this race though, and Psycho has pressurised him into the mistake. He's going to be alongside him into the final corner. That's going to put Antonelli offline and set Psycho up for a cutback. He's made the most of the cutback though, and that's a great move from Psycho, who was looking to get in front. Finally, after sitting behind for so long, he's made the most of the mistake he's made. He's had the patience, he hasn't been silly, and it has paid off. Coming into T1 then, he's going to be braking late. Antonelli looking to the outside, potentially trying to get a cutback. He's in that position for now. Can he stay with him and see where he's faster? He's got a good pull out of the corner. Can he reclaim that P3 position? But after ages of asking and patience upon patience and just reluctance and staying with him, persevering his way through and analysing his driver, Psycho is up in the 2 position. Further back though, Everty and this 3-car train for P8. He is on the back of Bad Boy into T1. It goes a little bit wide. This can start Bobby up. Tap in the back of him then has Bobby, almost tapping the back of him, but braking so much later, nearly going in really deep into the back of him then, and Scotty, he is looking to make up some ground as well. Everty looking to get past the Porsche is looking to get back and forth. And can't quite do so. Bumper to bumper to bumper. Don't know if there's a common theme. You may be so much faster, but you just can't get your way through. That's why we often see these long car trains, as you can see now. 3, nearly 4 cars are getting involved. And just look, once one car makes the move, the other guy offline, it could open the door for potential more. We approach the halfway mark in the race. 32 minutes left to go, and we'll see a lot of action towards the end, hopefully, as the field tightens up and gaps start to come down. So Psycho 9 seconds to car in front. Senna and Anthony into the pit lane, then taking his pit stop at around the halfway mark. So Psycho 9 seconds is going to be looking to try and catch that after Senna, and Senna 20 seconds behind Lombardo with 16 laps in. So 20 divided by 16, that's about is about 1.2 seconds a lap so far he's shown. If my maths are correct, I've been to school for a few years, guys, I'm a bit rusty, but 21 seconds divided by 16 laps, so that's about 21 over 16, which is 16.5, so it's about 1.4 seconds, I'd say. 1.4 seconds a lap, and he's kept that consistently throughout the whole of this half an hour stint, so he is looking very strong up in front. So strong up in front. Antonelli, though, must have sped in the pit lane. The guy who was looking so good in 3rd place has been given a stop go of 30 seconds, so he is going to have to come into the pit lane. Stop it is marked 30 seconds at least. One of the harshest penalties other than disqualification you can get in GT3 League racing, and it was probably by the margins, and it's so unfortunate. That is his race pretty much ruined now. As he came out of the pit lane, so the stop go of 30 seconds for the 11 man down there. Prep though on the back of DJ. Now as we saw a few
halfway mark,
earlier,
still a long way to go.
Halfway mark, still a long way to go as always engineers. Gap between Murdoch and Senna. Senna hasn't even completed sector 1 yet, as Murdoch is well into sector 2. The gap he has pulled in this first half of the race is astonishing, and he is looking to extend that and convert it into a very nice victory. Nothing can stop him now, as it seems. but everything is still looking to get past Bad Bull. Is a lot closer on this occasion. Started will be looking to make the most of any mistakes either of them make if there is any calamity or contact between the two. So far it's been kept right at the fence of that. Just back of the field at the start of the race. Scotty, of course, just missed his breaking point and going straight on at turn 1. Collecting a couple of cars. So the timings. So we're still at 26 minutes of the race to go. So we did for our pole sitter, who had, after a shaky start losing the lead, has found his rhythm, and certainly found his rhythm to open up a 20-second lap. He is just flying. So we might jump on board with him in a minute to see how the master work does it. But his fellow Ferrari in 557 is Bad Bull comes into the pit, so he's in the 7th position. Saab comes into the pit as well. Everything stays out so that battle that was so long in position is definitely going to be played in a strategy game. Everybody going for the overcut. So with his clear air, let's see what he can do. Can he pull the gap? Who came in a lap early? So very good strategical thinking here from Everdeen. If he can stay in front, if he has that clear air, he just needs to make the most of his in laps, and hopefully he can. Stand will Everdeen as he looks to get the overcut on Bad Bull. He may come into the pits where he may start an extra lap just to make sure he stays in front, particularly if he has had a poor in lap. Senna is into the pit lane. Everybody has stayed out for a couple of laps, so we'll see where Senna can come out. Jimmy though, 17 seconds back, so he obviously come into the pits a little bit earlier, I believe. And it looks like Ansley Senna's got a stop go of 30 seconds, so if Psycho keeps it clean, he will inherit a P2 position from consistency. As I said earlier, consistency is going to win this race and definitely get you unders. A is going rather wide after being lapped by the leaders, as well as Psycho on the back of Jimmy. Senna having to serve his stop go, so he's just sat there in the pit lane, correct up to P4, as well as we see the as we see the pit stops try and filter out. And Psycho looking to get past Jimmy once again. Well, for the first time, I don't know if Jimmy has pitted yet. I wasn't looking, admittedly. But he will be looking to get past. Potentially, Psycho had a slower stop. Still 1/3 of the race to go. 21.5 minutes left. But Psycho, with a good run coming out of the final corner, hasn't got the speed to send out inside the Jimmy for what will be a net P2 position. Up the inside, is he going to go for it into T1? No, similar story, stuck behind the Lamborghini, just this one's a little bit quicker. And a few laps, and it's still 2 minutes to go. We've got about a lap of the race remaining. Everyone is looking to be that Marshall's waving a red flag, so he doesn't know he's going to stop or what's going on. He's waving a red flag. I'm not sure if he knows what he's doing. Definitely a Marshall who's order off wish or something like that. But going through the fast-ish right behind it, just wants to stay well away from the car from Rainmeister as well. Closing up to Bad Bull. Jimmy's got pretty close, 3 tenths of the gap, looks to the inside, briefly contacting back in. Again, a similar story, he's just got to have patience and try and find the wits about him. Jimmy looking strong though, and holding his nerve very well against the GTR. GTR wants them to be patient. Wilson in the moves as Jimmy comes into the pit, so it wasn't a battle worth fighting for anyway. He inherits that P2 position. Frank inherit a podium position because that he isn't going to the pit lane. But he is looking pretty strong and certainly on the back of him, obviously after his penalty earlier in the race as well, or has it just one of the two, but he is looking quick, so we might want to get back past. But other than that, no real action going on. Rainmeister though on the back of Bad Bull, lost him a little bit coming out of sector 1 then, so Bad Bull holding on so for the time being. the action there. Apologies for that. Just checking, making sure everything's intact. So, it's just during the quiet period. But if it's still happening, almost it's still trying to chase now the bad one. Just is to get away that he requires and needs, and once again just try and find his way through on this tricky technical Hungaroring circuit. As we've seen it time and time again. So he's lost him a little bit. Once again, but this is the closest gap on track. So it's for P7. Rainmeister looking strong, and also looking strong. He looked strong at the Nürburgring a couple of weeks ago for the special event against the GLS, but a couple of mistakes did let him down. He did look big. He just didn't make the most of any opportunities. Getting a bit shaky as well as we speak about that. That Porsche is very difficult to drive, especially in this environment. So let's see how his race progresses with 15 minutes left to go. 1 quarter left in this race. Still languishing behind him, still to close that gap down as best he can. Still 15 minutes left to go, so he is looking strong. So why don't we get back on with our race leader of Max? I haven't seen much of him. He's gapped down to 10.6 as he helps adjust into equipment. But he is looking rather strong. Maybe made a mistake. I haven't seen him come into the pits yet. He's still 13 minutes to do so. But his gaps come down a little bit. But still in a very mighty lead is Max. There's nothing else to do. 12 minutes left to go, so it's just having a bit of a chat. So hope you've been enjoying the race so far, everyone. It certainly has been a pretty decent race, obviously up until now. Bobby further back, and Mercedes AMG is closed up to Rainmaster. So Mercedes, these guys have been reunited once again. So I will be on the back of Rainmaster. This is the closest back on track. Bobby has made it in front of Rainmaster then, and is looking pretty good to chase after NLR Bad, but perhaps he, with his own speed and momentum, obviously after just overtaking Rainmaster, he's got that little bit of momentum to potentially chase after Porsche. 9 minutes left to go in this Hungaroring race, and the fight for P7 is still very much on, as Bobby is looking to chase down Porsche. Good, and he's all over the back of Bad Bull already. Bad Bull having to go defensive to the inside for turn 2. Sub will be to the outside. It's going to be a tricky move to make if he sends one out the outside. Very late on the brakes and very audacious on the brakes. Can't quite get it to in, so Bad Bull's going to claim the race line. Bit of contact between the two as Sub will be able to concede the position for now. Bad Bull though looking at very strong and having to hold his line very well. Perhaps this could bring Rainmaster back into it. 8.5 minutes to go after an hour of racing. Bad Bull and Sub are still battling with the P7. Bad Bull holding on to that position as if his life depended on it. Sub will be wanting to get past as if his life depended on it. These two have been fighting very difficultly and very harshly for the remainder of the race. About 6 laps to go, 5 or 6 laps to go in the race. Sub will be still trying to get past Bad Bull. He's holding his own very, very well. Closing up a little bit in the 22nd. Again, he's driven up to him after chasing after Rainmaster, but it's definitely difficult to overtake. He's just going to have to make most of any mistakes like this one if he goes in a little bit too deep or runs a little bit wide on exit. He's just all over the back of him. Needing to pressurise that Porsche into a mistake. And Senna further back, still going to stop going. Looks like he's retired from the race after running so well in P2. Trek has gotten in front of Psycho, so potentially a mistake up there. I think we can catch up Trek into P2 after running P7 for a while off the race. Rainmaster pulling over to let Merdic Menace through blue flags. Merdic Menace is going to get a front row seat to this little bit of battling. Sub will be following him with so looking to the inside. Babel trying to cover it off, moving on the braking, trying to cover him off as best he can. Very harsh defending and very harsh attacking. Sub will be gets a good run. He's going to look to the outside once again for turn 2. Babel white lining it to the inside. Bloody hell. Sub will be stummies it to the inside, tries to find a little bit of move. I was lost lost for words there. Bad Bull sending it to the white line. Star Bobby moving to the outside and then darting to the inside and finding just a little bit of room. Try and tap it on the inside. There's contact between them. He's going to be on the outside for this corner. That's not going to work. He's going to have to concede. He goes for it anyway. He's been left the room. They're tossing. He's off the track. There's a lot of contact between Star Bobby and Bad Bull coming through this corner. This has brought Murdoch a lot closer, and these two are going to have to concede soon. But the yellow blue flag restriction. Star Bobby pulls over the first one to do so to try and make the advantage. Perhaps when Murdoch gets through, he can follow it through and make the most, but very harsh defending from these two. Bad Bull having to let them through, and it looks like the battling's going to continue as it was, as they both let Murdoch through rather cleanly there. 6 minutes left to go, and these two are still fighting wheel to wheel. Very, very harsh defending from both drivers, and yeah, very just astonishing racing, to be honest, how one of these two haven't spun. Very, very aggressive from both of them. Star Bobby leaves it late, darts to the inside, outbreaks himself, and Bad Bull's going to get himself through. Very, very desperation. A lot of desperation from Star Bobby here. He darted to the inside and broke very late and just outbroke himself that little bit too much. This has brought Rainmeister back into it. Star Bobby just needs to be a little bit more patient, wait for his moment, bide his time. He knows he's quicker. He's got 5.5 minutes left to go. He's still got a couple of laps. He doesn't need to make it past the top 6 just yet. It's still only for P7. It is not for the championship. He just can sit behind him and wait a little bit longer. Analyse his opponent. He goes to defensive. Is he going to dart to the inside for turn 1? He is. He looks to the inside, outbreaks himself once again, drives into the side of the Porsche. There's contact as Star Bobby completely drives Bad Bull off the track, completely outbreaks himself, and he's going to have a run. Bad Bull off the track. Star Bobby very aggressively. He comes back on the track very aggressively as well. They're still side by side. A lot of wheel banging between the two. Bad Bull for the inside of turn 2. Rainmeister try and get involved as well. They're coming off the exit. These two not giving an inch whatsoever. Star Bobby with some audacious sends up the inside. Get the painless racing then. But Bad Bull looking very aggressive. Star Bobby to the inside for this fast lap time. Surely it's not going to work again. He's up the inside. It's hard to outbrake himself. He's off the track again. Very dangerous. But the other way around. Star Bobby's going to swoop around the outside of Bad Bull. And is Bad Bull going to stick up the inside? He can get the foot down and potentially late break into the chicane. Looks like he's going to start to the inside very late. Not going to work. Is it up the inside? There's contact. Star Bobby's having to cut the chicane. These two still wheel to wheel. Very desperate little lunges. And Rainmeister is getting a very good front row seat to this Prek into the pits finally, which could promote Soko back into second place. Potentially that was what the big gap was for. The pit lane has Prek come out in front 22 car, the 66 cars coming across the line. It looks like he's going to be able to get in front, but on board with these guys at the moment. Bad Bull and Star Bobby, one of them is in front of the other. Star Bobby obviously having to cut the chicane from Bad Bull earlier in the lap, and definitely was not the most keen racing we've seen. Very desperate lunges from both drivers, apologies if you heard that. But yeah, just desperate from both sides. Desperation from both sides there, just really late lap lunges. Star Bobby, potentially a couple of street inquiries to be made. 2 laps to go though, so around 2 more laps of the race to go. still commanding the way. It was Murdoch, followed by Psycho, Jimmy, Prek, Pante, Pante has made a really good recovery drive back up to P5, DJ Frozen P6, Starboard P7, Babel P8, Rainmaster P9, Scotty in P10, Antonelli in P11, JJ Penguin, who's had a pretty stinker in the race over the drive for P13A, in P14, Hefe in P15, and the DNF of Senna in P16. About 2 laps of the race remaining. Great 33 laps it has been. We've got about a lap and a half left before it draws to a close. But as the leader rounds off onto the final lap then, after 33 laps, it is going to be this. This is down to it. He is going to drive it home to hopefully win if he doesn't win it. Fingers crossed he doesn't. But with the field spread as it is, unless there's any last lap mistakes, it's going to be as it is. Unfortunately, no lap drama. Pante only a second behind Prek though. That could be something to look out for. Our leader, then Murdoch the Menace in his black Ferrari 488 GT3 car, number 77, after 34 laps. Oh no, actually we're going to go to Pantelos, who's closed the gap to 4 tenths on the final lap. Final lap and a half. He's got this lap and next lap to make the move stick. He's coming across and he's all over the back of Prek for P4. Pante, if he can make this move, it's going to be a great finish. Car 77 was coming around the final second lap, but we're going to stand good with these two for the time being. He's going to defend his fastest ride. He's half hour defending. Pante needs to make the most of this final lap to get past. Can he do it? Can he get into P4 after being set back so violently in the early stages? There's a back marker to contend with, but he's got one more lap. He needs to make the most out of it. He's got a good run. Prek to the inside. Looks like he's just going to let him through. Prek has just let him sail past, and Pente with a
leader has finished the race
into P4 then. But Murdoch crossed the line to win the Hungaroring Grand Prix. Very dominant display and very well deserved. Very dominant display, the most dominant I've seen anyone in this league, just start to finish, just didn't make any mistakes, controlled it from the race start, and yeah, just amazing race from Murdoch. Sir Psycho and everyone else has run a pretty consistent race as well, but the gap he's held is insane. Still with a couple of corners to go. We'll come around the final corner then to round off what's been a pretty thrilling race. Action up and down the field. He's going to finish P2. Very nice result, followed by Jimmy, who's going to round up and into the final corner now. DJ Frozone, Bobby, Bad Bull, Raymeister, Scotty, Antonelli, JJ in P6 down to P12. Coming across the line is the final podium sitter of Jimmy, and a little bit further back coming through the final corner now is Pante, who with an amazing recovery drive finds himself sitting in P4. Prek has stopped on the track. He's ran out of fuel. No, that's what it was. He ran out of fuel and he stopped on the track, and he's going to be, luckily because he wasn't lapped, everyone else isn't going to claim his position. So he's going to be finishing P5, but he's ran out of fuel. He hasn't made it to the finish line. Qualification for Prek. Very interesting stuff here. Here in NAGTS. he just mistimed it by half a lap. All he needed to do was get around half a lap, and he's ran out, and he's a minute is what the gap is between first and second, I've just seen. But Prek out of fuel in P5, so not the finish he'd hoped for, but P5. He definitely made Pante's job a lot easier by running out of fuel. But that was the Hungaroring, and what an amazing race it was. The start, obviously I messed up again, sorry about that. The start was hectic, but from there, you know, the first stint again was just amazing. Got great racing up and down trains, and just, yeah, obviously it's difficult to overtake, but they made the most out of it. They put on a show, a lot of ding-dong battles as well. Up and down the field. Great racing, great result, very dominant display from Murdoch, who in the Ferrari just went, lost the lead at the start, got it back instantly, and soared into the distance. Yeah, what is that? A minute, so that's two-thirds of a lap ahead of second. Of his nearest competitor, two-thirds of a lap, which is insane. But after that, guys, I've been Zach. This has been NAGTS. Thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and I will see you